If there is a creator, then that means there has to be another creator. So what created the creator?
No. Hey, Chad, you want to take that one? That's Chad's specialty. This is Chad.
It's not just.
Hey, hold on. Do you really think that things can go backwards on and on and on and on? If you're going to use reason? Because there's a philosophical law. It says you cannot have an infinite regress. Eventually, you have to arrive. Aristotle says at the unmoved mover. You have to get there. So, can there be something that may be caused? Sir, are you with me? I'm asking you a question, alright? So, like I said earlier, Stephen Hawking, he says that almost everyone now believes that the universe and time itself had a beginning at the Big Bang. Anything that begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe has a cause. Whatever that cause is, what we're arguing is that cause is God. It's not a call to just blind leaps of faith, alright? It's a call to a very sensible, intelligent step of faith. 1 Peter 3:15, it says, if anyone asks you a reason for the hope that is in you, give them a reason. Right? With me spirit. Just test all things. Keep that which is true.
You can have your reason, but he can also have his reason.
Right.
And you cannot get into his mind and change it
at the end
unless
of the day,
he wants to.
If Jesus Christ is the truth, the big question is this: what's the truth? Alright? I think a very good place to start looking for truth is the man in history that claimed to be the truth. Test him out. Jesus Christ says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but through me. If you are a Christian, alright, and you're here arguing about, whether it's once saved, always saved, or if I have a free will, or whatever, we shouldn't be doing that. What's most important right now is the unsaved souls. Alright? So, the big question is this: are you justified before God or not? Well, if you get judged by the way that you've lived your life, if God gives you justice, you're going to hell. None are good, no, not one. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. All liars will have their part in the lake of fire, but God has provided a way out. It's through Jesus Christ on the cross. But you have to receive that gift. If you don't receive the gift of Christ on the cross, what happens, guys? God is just, and He'll lay His justice down on you. But He's saying He loves you so much that He can redirect that justice on Christ. Take the gift. It's not a hateful message, it's a very loving message. You and I have gotten ourselves into a mess. God provides a way out. You don't want to take the way out? Fine. C.S. Lewis puts it this way: there's two types of men in the world. One man that bows his knee to God, says, God, thy will be done. Trust the Creator. Or there's the other man in the world that says, you know what? I'm not going to bow my knee before God. And God says to them, hey, that's fine. Your will be done. So, okay. Did that make sense?
No,
not listening?
No, not at all. Okay.
Why not?
Because I'm an atheist. Alright, so other than the Bible, what do you base your beliefs on?
Okay, how about for there being a creator, right?
Well,
other than the Bible.
I'll give you a cosmological argument. Alright?
Any other book that says that God existed?
Bro, I'm not gonna go off of Bible at all right now. I'm gonna give you something off of philosophy, math, and science, starting with Stephen Hawking. Alright? The Big Bang. Alright? It's established by what? By Einstein's theory of relativity, by the background radiation that's been found by Arno Penzias, who got a Nobel Prize for it. Alright? Causality. Alright? Second law of thermodynamics, and on and on. This hypothesis that there is a Big Bang has been, it's been supported by these things over and over again. Alright? So, this is what Stephen Hawking says. Almost everyone now believes that the universe and time itself had a beginning at the Big Bang. Now, if the universe was eternal, it doesn't need a God. The universe has been found to not be eternal, has a beginning at the Big Bang. Therefore, it needs a cause. Philosophy, David Hume, he says, I would never assert such an absurd thing that anything would ever arise without a cause. Now, as an atheist, either you believe nothing created everything, or if you try and follow philosophy, laws of logic, and science, you realize, hey, things don't just pop into existence out of nothing, but the universe has to have a cause. I'm not arguing that this cause right now is the God of the Bible or the God of the Quran or the flying spaghetti monster. That's later, right? I'm just establishing through science, philosophy, and math that we need a cause for the universe. So what would cause this universe? Well, you have two options, because whatever brought time, space, matter, and mass into existence by nature would have to be timeless, spaceless, immaterial. Alright? Two criteria fit that category. Number one, abstract objects like numbers and symbols. But abstract objects like numbers and symbols are not causal agents. Numbers don't bring things into existence. That's established. You can check it out if you want to challenge it. The other, an unembodied mind. All right? What has God always been? What's the argument always been? That God is spirit, this unembodied mind, this intelligent being. So what I'm saying is I'm looking at the evidence, and I'm following the evidence to where it goes, and it's just like they say, the scientists have been climbing this mountain, they get to the top to find out the philosophers have been sitting at the top the whole time. The evidence leads to there being a God, a creator.
What in the Bible, or what?
Okay, yeah, I'll continue on. But would you like to challenge what I just said?
No, not necessarily. I'm not an atheist. I'm agnostic.
I thought you said you're an atheist.
No, I'm agnostic.
Okay. So now, how do we know that it's the God of the Bible? All right. Well, here's one way to go about it. Let's look at Scripture. Is there any way that we know Scripture is more than just mere men writing words? Well, if we could see supernatural in it, I'm going to tell you about a person right now. All right. You tell me who I'm talking about. If you can't figure out who I'm talking about, maybe someone in the crowd can help you out. Here we go. Little quote. It says, "Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God and afflicted. He was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. Every man has turned to his own way, and the Lord laid on him the iniquity of us all." Who am I talking about?
You're talking about
Jesus? Check this out, all right? Don't check your brain at the door right now. Listen, man, that was written over 800 years before Jesus Christ ever came to this earth. It was written by Isaiah in black and white lettering on scrolls. You knew who that was. That's only one prophecy. And then you see other prophecies where it says that he'll have nail-pierced hands and nail-pierced feet. He'll be betrayed for 30 pieces of silver. You start saying, well, that's Jesus, that's Jesus. That was written before he ever came to this earth. And he did all these things. So what I'm saying is, there's more than just mere men writing words here. When you start to see that supernatural in the Scripture, you go, it's not just men writing words. I'm only giving you a couple prophecies out of over 300 of them that have been fulfilled. You say, I think I can kind of see God's hand in this thing. So that's something that just like a compass kind of guides you the direction. It says, more than just men. No other Scripture has that. The Quran doesn't have that. This is fulfilled prophecy. It's been dated back in black and white lettering.
Well, how do we know how old that is? And if so,
take secular tests. Take secular tests.
If it is that old,
if indeed it is.
How do we know that it's not? It hasn't been altered since then.
All right.
How do we know since in between the time, number one, that this was supposedly written, and number two, the Bible was first printed?
Because we have these scrolls that are still in existence today that have been dated a multitude of ways, all right? Whether it be parchment paper or written on leather skin, they have a way of dating it by the type of ink that they used, by the type of lettering and spacing that they did, by the type of material that they had, all right? These are established, all right? So the only back door that you really can take when you take these evidences that I'm appealing to you right now, that are historical evidences, I'm not being all religious about it, the only back door you can really take is by chance. Jesus just happened to fulfill all those things. Okay, you could say that. What I'm saying is it takes more faith. It takes more faith to believe that than it does to believe, you know, what I see, the design that's in it. All right? I think it takes more faith to be an atheist after looking at the evidence for things than it takes to be a theist or a believer in God.
As far as that's concerned, perhaps.